1. Pussy. Despising his highly inadequate self, overcome with intense anxiety and a deep profound loneliness when by his empty self, desperate to attach himself to any female in dim hopes of completing himself, in the mystical belief that by touching gold he'll turn to gold, the male craves the continuous companionship of women. The company of the lowest female is preferable to his own or that of other men, who serve only to remind him of his repulsiveness. But females, unless very young or very sick, must be coerced or bribed into male company. 2. Supply the non-relating male with a delusion of usefulness and enable him to try to justify his existence by digging holes and then filling them up. Leisure time horrifies the male, who will have nothing to do but contemplate his grotesque self. Unable to relate or to love, the male must work. Females crave absorbing, emotionally satisfying, meaningful activity, but lacking the opportunity or ability for this, they prefer to idle and waste away their time in ways of their own choosing. Sleeping, shopping, bowling, shooting pool, playing cards and other games, reading, walking around, daydreaming, eating, playing with themselves, popping pills, going to the movies, getting analysed, travelling, raising dogs and cats, lolling about on the beach, swimming, watching TV, listening to music, decorating their houses, gardening, sewing, nightclubbing, dancing, visiting, improving their minds, taking courses, and absorbing culture, lectures, plays, concerts, arty movies. Therefore, many females would, even assuming complete economic equality between the sexes, prefer living with machines, or at best, if able to get a good job co-managing the shit pile. What will liberate women, therefore, from male control is the total elimination of the money work system, not the attainment of economic equality with men within it. Power and control. Unmasterful in his personal relations with women, the male attains to masterfulness by the manipulation of money and everything controlled by money. In other words, of everything and everybody. Love substitute. Unable to give love or affection, the male gives money. It makes him feel motherly. The mother gives milk, he gives bread. He is the breadwinner. 5. Provide the male with a goal. Incapable of enjoying the moment, the male needs something to look forward to, and money provides him with an eternal, never-ending goal. Just think of what you could do with $80 trillion. Invest it, and in 3 years' time you'd have $300 trillion. 6. Provide the basis for the male's major opportunity to control and manipulate. Fatherhood. Fatherhood and mental illness. Fear, cowardice, timidity, humility, insecurity, passivity. Mother wants what's best for her kids, daddy only wants what's best for daddy. That is, peace and quiet, pandering to his delusion of dignity, respect, a good reflection on himself, status, and the opportunity to control and manipulate. Or, if he's an enlightened father, to give guidance. His daughter, in addition, he wants sexually. He gives her hand in marriage, the other part is for him. Daddy, unlike mother, can never give in to his kids, as he must, at all costs, preserve his delusion of decisiveness, forcefulness, always rightness, and strength. Never getting one's way leads to lack of self-confidence in one's ability to cope with the world and a passive acceptance of the status quo. Mother loves her kids, although she sometimes gets angry, but anger blows over quickly, and even while it exists, doesn't preclude love and basic acceptance. Emotionally diseased daddy doesn't love his kids. He approves of them if they're good, that is, if they're nice, respectful, obedient, subservient to his will, quiet, and not given to unseemly displays of temper that would be most upsetting to daddy's easily disturbed male nervous system. In other words, if they're passive vegetables. If they're not good, he doesn't get angry. Not if he's a modern, civilized father. The old-fashioned ranting, raving brute is preferable, as he is so ridiculous he can be easily despised, but rather express disapproval, a state that, unlike anger, endures and precludes a basic acceptance, leaving the kid with a feeling of worthlessness and a lifelong obsession with being approved of. The result is fear of independent thought, as this leads to unconventional, disapproved of opinions and way of life. For the kid to want daddy's approval, it must respect daddy, and being garbage, daddy can make sure that he is respected only by remaining aloof, by distantness, by acting on the precept of familiarity breeds contempt. which is of course true if one is contemptible. By being distant and aloof, he is able to remain unknown, mysterious, and thereby to inspire fear, respect. Disapproval of emotional scenes leads to fear of strong emotion, fear of one's own anger and hatred. Fear of anger and hatred combined with a lack of self-confidence in one's ability to cope with and change the world, or even to affect in the slightest way one's own destiny, leads to a mindless belief that the world and most people in it are nice, and the most banal, trivial amusements are great fun and deeply pleasurable. The effect of fatherhood on males, specifically, is to make them men, that is, highly defensive of all impulses to passivity, faggotry, and of desires to be female. Every boy wants to imitate his mother, be her, fuse with her, but daddy forbids this. He is the mother. He gets to fuse with her. So he tells the boy, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, to not be a sissy, to act like a man. The boy, scared shitless of and respecting his father, complies and becomes just like daddy, that model of manhood, the all-American ideal, the well-behaved heterosexual dullard. The effect of fatherhood on females is to make them male, dependent, passive, domestic, animalistic, insecure, approval and security seekers, cowardly, humble, respectful of authorities and men, closed, not fully responsive, half-dead, trivial, dull, conventional, flattened out and thoroughly contemptible. Daddy's girl, always tense and fearful, uncool, analytical, lacking objectivity, appraises daddy, and thereafter other men, against a background of fear, respect, and is not only unable to see the empty shell behind the facade, but accepts the male definition of himself as superior as a female, and of herself as inferior as a male, which thanks to daddy she really is. It is the increase of fatherhood resulting from the increased and more widespread affluence that fatherhood needs in order to thrive that has caused the general increase of mindlessness and the decline of women in the United States since the 1920s. The close association of affluence with fatherhood has led, for the most part, to only the wrong girls, namely the privileged middle-class girls getting educated. The effect of fathers, in sum, has been to corrode the world with maleness. The male has a negative Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to shit. Now, like I said, I really hope this is a troll, but I know within myself it isn't. But basically what I can say to you is, don't be taken in by this. This is not representative of my own feelings, just basically take it for what it is, or what most people take it as just something to be mocked and laughed at. And I'll see you next time when I continue reading this. I believe the only word for it is article. I'll see you next time. Bye.